morning, second grade. Let's get started. We're going to be reading maps and identifying land and water on those maps. So our daily agenda for today is going over our vocab words and finding out the differences of land and water. It's map time. We'll be going over some maps and identifying the land and water on those maps. Then we have a fun Play-Doh land and water activity planned and a land and water worksheet. So we have a busy day. Let's get going. So our state standard is 2ESS 2.3 and compare simple maps of different land areas to observe the shapes and kinds of land, rock, soil, sand, and water, river, stream, lake, and ponds. Now that can be a little confusing, so I made us some I can statements. I can explain the difference of land and water. I can identify land and water on a map. So let's keep those in our noggin, and let's go back to those whenever we're having a hard time. We know we can do this. So let's think of these as essential questions. What is the difference between land and water? What is a map? And where is land and water shown on the given map? Now I know that where this last question can't really be done without a given map. So let's just focus on those first two right now. Pause me, do those questions, and press play whenever you're ready. Alright, welcome back, second grade. Let's continue. Let's get those vocab words done. So I have the vocab words and the definitions written out here just for you all. I'm going to go over these super quick, and if you all need to pause me and write out these vocab words, do so. So land is a part of the Earth's surface that is not covered by water. Rock is a bunch of different minerals, and it's a solid. A mountain is a very high, elevated area off of Earth's surface, rising abruptly from the surrounding level. A hill is a naturally raised area of land, and it's not as high as a mountain. A valley is a low area of land between hills or mountains. Soil is loose material which lies on top of the land. Water covers up 70% of Earth's surface. A lake is a body of water that is surrounded by land. A river is a large natural stream of water flowing in a channel to the sea, lake, or another such stream. Stream or creek is a small narrow river, and a pond is a small body of still water formed naturally or by hollowing or embanking. An ocean is a large area of water between continents, and a map is a picture of an area of land or sea showing physical features. And we're going to be going over maps a lot today. So let's first get into land and water. Land is where we are. It is dry. It's dry ground, unlike the water. And things grow here, like trees, flowers, grass, all sorts of stuff, crops, anything you can think of, it grows on the ground most of the time. Let's first start looking at this picture. In this picture, we see that grass is growing and there are trees in the background. This is a great example of a land. Let's keep it going. Right here, we have an example of our soil. Soil is on the top part of our land, and it helps everything grow. Let's go over to this one. Here's the mountain. And what do we call this blue area, this blue hue? The Blue Ridge Mountains. Great job, second grade. And here are some rocks that can also form up mountains. And let's look at this last picture down here. This V shape is a valley. This was one of our vocab words, and it is between two hills or two mountains. We can't really see how high these hillsides go up, so these could be hills or mountains. But these are all great examples of land. Now let's go on to water. Water makes up 70% of the earth. That's insane to think we have that much water. Oceans and lakes are home to all sorts of marine life. Fish, sharks, whales, dolphins, you name it. The list can go on and on. So let's look at this first picture. This is a very small body of water, right? And there is no movement. What could this be? A pond. Great job, second grade. Now, let's look at some other pictures. I have 4 great examples right here. So what is this swirling happening in between 2, I would say, mountains or canyons? This is a river, and it's in a valley. Great job, second grade. Now let's look at this one. This is a very narrow, very tiny little stream. Great job. Alrighty, in this one it shows our mountains again. And it is massive, isn't it? This is a lake. Great job, everybody. Now this one looks like a fun time. I would love to be there right now. This is the ocean. Great job. And this is the beach. And here is the sand. And like in our state standard, it said that sand is an example of land. Now that we know about land and water, let's look at some maps. So maps are used to get from point A to point B, and maps are also shown a zoomed out picture of a large area. Let's look at this one before we go and do some practice. We can tell that we are not this close to South America, and we can tell that we are not this close to Africa either. So this is a zoomed out picture. Let's start with our treasure map. Now, we're not going to be looking for treasure, but we are going to be looking for land and water. So let's look at our map key. Map keys help us read the map. So what's in this map key? Water, forest, and mountains. Let's first start with water. There is so much blue all around this island, am I right? So what would we call this? The ocean. Great job. Now, what is this S shape? It is a river. Great job, everybody. Now, these two can be a little confusing. I know that I said this is a zoomed out picture, but we can also tell that this is a big area. So that would make this a lake. And this one would be a pond. Great job, everybody. Now, we can also tell that the pond is going into the lake is going into the river, and the river is going into the ocean. That is because all the water tries to get to each other. So let's remember that. Let's go on to, and we're going to make forests and mountains together. So forests and mountains, all right here, what would we classify that as? The land. Great job, second grade. Now, it's time to get hard. This is the state of Tennessee, where we are at. Now, just like our treasure map, the green and the brown was for land, and the blue was for water. So, with that information, what would these blue squigglies be? Water. But what kind of water do we think it could be? Couldn't be an ocean. It could be rivers, and it could be lakes. Great job, everybody. Now, let's look at the tan and the green areas. Now, the tan areas are right through here and right over here. Those would be the mountains. Great job, everybody. And the green area is just the regular land. Now that we have that information, we're going to make it a little bit more harder. And here is a picture, a map zoomed out of the United States. And here we can see that there are still some blue squigglies and some tan and green. So, what are those blue squigglies? Water. Some of them are lakes and rivers. And all around our state, what is this? The oceans, and up here are the Great Lakes. And these tan areas are mountains, and the green areas are land. Great job, everybody. Now, it's time we've all been waiting for. The Play-Doh activity. So, to get everything ready, we need you to get blue and green Play-Doh. The blue is going to be for the water. The green is going to be for the land. I'm going to pop up some pictures on the screen, and I want you to make me what is on there. So if a mountain pops up, try to sculpt a mountain. If a lake pops up, try to pound me out a little lake. Do your best and have fun. That's all that I'm trying to do. Oh, let's create a river. Okay, I'm going to swirl this out. And there's my river. It's a bigger area than it would be a small, tiny stream, right? Great job, everybody. You all did great. Let's do another one. Ooh, a mountain. Let's see if I can make a mountain. Are you all making a mountain? I'm sure yours is better than mine. Okay, this is going to be my mountain. Great job, everybody. Let's go. Keep it going. Oh, a pond. So a pond is steel, and so we need to make it small, right? All right, this is my pond. Great job, everybody. Y'all have done amazing. Now, this one's going to be a hard one. Can we make a valley? So we're going to need 2 things of green, and we're going to make, let's see, I don't know if I can do it. And they have a little river, so I'm going to make a river too. You can make a river. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to. And so there we have it. I don't know if you can see it, but there I have my V shape, my valley, and in there is my little river that I made not too long ago. All right, what's next? I think that was it for that activity. You all did amazing. So now it's time for you all to show me what you've learned. It's worksheet time. And for this, you're going to need a few things. You're going to have to print out that sheet, or I gave you that sheet. That's right. I gave you that sheet. Get out those scissors, the glue, and some crayons if you can. I'll put my crayons away, but you're going to need some crayons or some markers. So in this, you're going to color the picture, and you are going to then cut through this dotted line and cut out river, lake, ocean, hill, mountain, and valley, and you're going to glue it onto these little spaces. Okay? And this is just going to help me see what you learned from this fun little lesson today. And whenever you get done, turn that into the tray and you will be finished. Here's mine. And there's a better picture if you can't see it from here. But I have labeled, and does yours look like mine? I hope so. Alright, in closing, I'm going to do some questions. And these are the questions that were our essential questions. Ones that got us started today. So, what is the difference between land and water? And what is a map? And like I said, where is land and water shown on the given map? But you all actually were able to identify that on the maps that we went over today. So you all did great on that last question. So let's talk about those first 2. What is the difference between land and water from the lesson that we went over today? Land is dry, and it has grass, and what are some examples? Rock, mountains, hills, grass, all sorts of stuff. Yes. Those are great examples of land. Now, let's go on to water. What are some examples of water, and what makes it different from land? Water isn't dry. And water makes up how much percent of the earth? How many did we say? 70%. That's right, 2nd grade. You all are killing it. You all did so good today. So, oops, I went back. There we go. So on that water, what are some examples of the water? Yes, some oceans, lakes, rivers. Great job. And what is a map? A map is a picture of a zoomed out area, and it helps you get from point A to point B. You all did amazing today, second grade.